we are talking about blissful. So people think Samadhi is the blissful state. Okay. Samadhi is immortality. Earth, and that's why we have some semblance of peace around in the world because of them. Okay, so every day, every hour you can go into Samadhi.
Today we have a very special episode as we've reached the eighth and final limb of yoga, known as Samadhi. Throughout our journey, we've learned about all the 8 limbs and how practicing all the previous 7 limbs simultaneously will help us achieve the ultimate state of bliss, Samadhi. So please enjoy today's episode and let's learn about Samadhi together. So welcome back to today's episode. I think we've reached the end of the 8 limbs. We've reached Samadhi. Today we speak about Samadhi.
So are we feeling in Samadhi?
Yeah, I think so, because all the other podcasts, they were so informative and such new information to me, especially. Okay, so I do feel like, it's been, it's the Samadhi of my learning of 8 limbs of yoga and finally understanding them.
Yes.
At least begin to understand them.
Yeah, the learning never stops, Sneha, because like I keep saying this, even today for me, like every day, like every time I talk, for me also it's learning. It's not just, when we talk, I do sessions, I do classes. There's a new information coming in, sometimes from within me also. So it's not that, we stop learning about this. It's like maybe unless we reach that Ramana Maharishi kind of state or whatever it is, but we will still have the learning going on. So yeah, so good job. You also learned, I've also learned, and I hope people who listen to it also, they should try and go and watch all the episodes. They should also watch the How to Yoga series so that they have an idea as to what 8 limbs are. It touches upon it, and there's also a little bit of captions written in it. So if you watch all that, then it becomes easier for you to kind of understand it. Then you watch the podcast, it becomes much clearer. Then you become close to yoga what you were before you watched it.
I completely agree. I think working on these series for me, it has really opened my eyes to a whole dimension of information that I didn't really even know existed. So even I highly suggest that everybody should watch the podcast and the Instagram series, How to Yoga
series. And the How to Yoga series. Yeah, they could start with How to Yoga series because it's a little lighter,
it eases you
and
into
also
it.
Very eases you. And then you can watch the podcast, and you have the patience a little bit, put it on maybe speed, like the way we do it, increase the speed and then watch it
1.5 or
maybe.
2, whatever you're comfortable
Exactly. Yeah, comfortable. It helps. And, you need to pass that 5 minutes stage or 6-7 minute stage to kind of get hooked onto it, and that's where I advise everyone to do it. Watch it. It is helpful. It is, it's an eye opener, and it just helps you lead a better life. So why not? Yeah. So okay, so here we are in the final limb of the Ashtanga of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, and what a marvel! It's very cryptic the way he's written, and to kind of understand it and decode it, okay, is what everyone has been trying to decode it, not only via writing and speaking. By practicing it, by trying to research about it, and because it's very cryptic. Why? Now I understand why it is cryptic, because it's so difficult.
I wanted to ask, why is it cryptic?
Because the age changes. Every age is different. Every century is different. Every 100 years, the world is changing.
So he's been careful about the information so that it's not misinterpreted or something like that.
Exactly. So you can't say like, okay, this is bad or this is wrong, because it's changing. Even that is changing on a daily basis. And what is applicable today was not applicable 100 years ago. Okay, it was easy for those days. So plus, the cycle of time. We know yogas, we know that we have those 4 yogas, and it's a cyclic, the whole thing is. So even keeping that point of view also, like he has kept it cryptic, because it's, if you are interested, you will learn about it, you will read about it. And luckily, with media and communication and digital platforms, I think life has become, it used to be with books. Now it's become easier to access it. So those who want to access it, please access it. And there are too many people who have decoded it for you, maybe in their own way, but nobody is wrong. Okay, they've understood in a different way. So whatever your energy is, you will take it from them. So, but do it, try whatever you feel comfortable, whichever channel or whichever person that has decoded it, that resonates with you, connects with you, like, please go ahead and do it. Yeah. So, okay, so we've reached Samadhi, which is also for us a Samadhi for our 8-limb podcast. Yeah. So, what do you understand by Samadhi, if I may ask you?
Samadhi, see, what I understand is that it's like the final state, there is nothing beyond Samadhi. It's like the final, it's not, some people might equate it to death, but I know it's not death. I don't know how to explain beyond it. But because I've heard that, the ancient sages, they go into a state of Samadhi, which is considered death, I guess, by some people, but not death by a lot of other people.
Okay. So you're right. This is what everyone understands Samadhi as, okay, death. But what if I say, like, what is it that I keep hearing nowadays, especially after the pandemic, I keep hearing all this very often, that, wish we could just disappear, wish we were invisible. Okay. So that's one thing we want. Second thing, what is it we want? We could travel, without any problems. We could just, without visa, without passports, without money, without anything, we just could travel, That's the second thing we want. Third thing is, what is it that we want? We want, so even in that being disappearing, I'm not saying disappearing, it's like whenever we want to take any form, we can come back to that. Whenever we want to disappear, we can disappear. So that is what is the first one. The second one is what I said, like, we could travel anywhere we want, we could go, we can come in. And thirdly, like, we don't need to kind of deal with the day-to-day,
struggles,
things, and that which leads us to magic. We all want to be magical. So these are the 3 things, and not the daily nonsense. Why is it that we watch those magical animative food? Even today, nowadays, it's become more popular than it was 100 years ago.
It's like escapism,
animation.
Everybody wants to escape something.
Yeah, but it's let's not call it escapism. So that is what we want as humans, and that's what is consciousness. So we want invisibility, or we could take any form. Second, what we want is ability to travel wherever we want. We want to go we want to go to Mars, we want to go to anywhere we can travel. Third is we want to be magical beings. Okay, these are the childhood. As a child, this is exactly what you want. And if I tell you that Samadhi is that, so when we were talking about dhyana, we were talking about blissful. So people think Samadhi is the blissful state. Okay, Samadhi is immortality. Immortality without this body, without being connected to this body. So in immortality, what happens? The beings can disappear, appear at will. Okay, take any form, shape, size, whatever they want. Second is they can time travel, they can go anywhere they want. They can go to Mars, they can go to planets, they can come back, they can astral traveling is there, they can travel wherever they want. And if you've seen the Tibetan monks, they travel, okay, the whole documentary is about it. And thirdly, what? We want to be magical beings. We don't want to, we want to just be at peace and get what we want. Yeah, without having to kind of fight for it and
Struggle,
do all
basically.
these things. Yeah. So immortality. Samadhi is basically immortality. So we have different names. We have... see, why is it that we are very unconsciously going towards that? What are we seeking? We are seeking plastic surgery, trying to become ageless, trying to become... I know we want to be 20 at the age of 60. What is it? It's that inner, cry for that immortality. So Samadhi is actually immortality. So when you said that Samadhi is the last stage, it is not. There's one which goes beyond, which is what? It's the divine being. Okay? It's different. It's where the people go different, where they completely give up their body. They do not want to come back at all at any point. But most of the time, immortality, this is what everybody's desire is. It's very few people who want to go beyond that immortality. So when we call it liberation, heaven, moksha, nirvana, all these things are basically immortality. So Samadhi is not like after somebody dies, you bury them, and that is Samadhi, which is like even you see Mahatma Gandhi's place where we have kind of kept the Samadhi. It's the monument that we kept. We call it Samadhi. So we have made it into death, okay, or complete disconnection from the body or something. But actually Samadhi is immortality. So when you are in a permanent state of bliss, okay, dhyana, when you are, if you see the saints who are just, I had told you, like 500 kilometers and their radiance is there. Yeah, that is dhyana. They are in a state of dhyana. They're in a meditative state where their body is there, everything is there, but they've gone beyond the body. Now, Samadhi is where the body can be preserved, okay, as usually it's preserved, but they go beyond beyond everything, beyond consciousness, beyond all those kind of things. So it is, you go beyond your body and you have the magical powers to... When I say magical powers, I don't want to bring it down to that, but it's easier to understand.
It's
divinity, basically. Yeah, it's easier to understand. It's basically your ability to go beyond the normal human life. Okay? Still being a human, still being on earth, that is. Okay? So Samadhi is a very, very sacred state. Extremely sacred state, and we have very few who have reached Samadhi, and those people are still moving around on earth, and that's why we have some semblance of peace around in the world because of them, because their aura, if somebody in dhyana can have that kind of aura, you can imagine somebody in Samadhi, what kind of aura they will have. So they can actually sit anywhere in the world and create peace, So otherwise, by now we would have all the atom bombs and everything would have nuclear bombs, and we would have all the nukes would have, destroyed all of us. So there's some kind of stability because of them. So that is Samadhi. Samadhi is a complete state of being out of your body, okay, which the body is still there, but in being in a complete state of divine, it's supernatural powers. It's like what we call today Spider-Man, Superman. Everyone wants that kind of a power. That's what I said. Human beings, what do they want? They want invisibility. So what is Spider-Man doing? Invisible. Okay, what do they want? They want to travel. He can travel anywhere he wants, anytime. Okay, Spider-Man is still restricted, but Superman is
Yeah,
not.
he can fly.
Third, what do they want? They want magical powers. They can, they have that magical power to kind of help somebody or create whatever it is. So it's the whole our animated world is created based on that, because that's the basic human. That is why we will never be happy with smaller things. That's why the sense of sadness comes in us, because we know that we can experience that, we can reach there. But the state of alignment, the senses that are there and everything is not easy. So dhyana is easy. When I'm saying easy as compared to samadhi, okay? So again, samadhi is not... So people who are in a constant state of dhyana have the ability to go into samadhi. So when they go into samadhi, they have the options of, moving back into dhyana and going back into samadhi, and they have initially.
Okay.
Until a stage comes when they completely kind of go into samadhi. So that is the actual meaning of samadhi. I'm just giving you a short glimpse of it, but I would really want you to ask me a few things, so that from your point of view, I want to know, like, what does that make you feel,
So, my first question is that, so samadhi and moksha are two different things. Yeah, because I think, sometimes maybe you think samadhi and moksha are the same, because it seems similar. But now from what you're saying, I'm understanding that they're not the same thing. Samadhi is when you still want to be here and you want to experience that state where you are free, basically, isn't it? You are free of
Yes.
your human body and the limitations it brings with it. And also what you're saying is that is what we instinctively seek. We don't understand that is our true desire, but we try to fulfill that desire by material pleasures, by whatever food or money or whatever way that we want to satisfy that yearning, I guess, that we all feel. And because, when you, let's, for example, you seek money, when eventually you get the money, how long is it going to keep you happy for? You can't, it is not the end all and be all, whether it is money, food, or whatever it is that people desire. So I guess I'm understanding what you're saying, that state of samadhi is what we instinctually seek, but we are not aware of that. I guess, because we are not aware of what samadhi is.
Yes, actually. So now there are few people who go beyond that. Okay? Go beyond that. That's moksha.
Okay.
That's like, you don't want anything to do with this world. You just are ready to go back into the consciousness, and that's a choice. It's a choice that they can make, and they can do it, and that's the beauty of it. And there's so many of them that who do not want, who would like to experience, and because they see that kind of power can be given only to, again, it's the same thing. With power comes responsibility. As a very famous quote from, I think it's from Spider-Man. I don't know, is it somebody else said it?
Yeah, it is from some superhero movie.
It's from Spider-Man, but I don't know whether they took it from somewhere else.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure. But for me, I remember it from Spider-Man. Okay, so so that is how it is with great. So you will not reach that state of samadhi unless you've gone it the right way. So people think, oh, okay, we'll get it's not like that. Okay, and even if people get it, that's when if you know in a mythology what happens. Okay, the divine beings take avatar and come and have to destroy them, because even if they've attained it, okay, if it's not constructive to the world, there'll be avatars who come in and they will, avatars will come in. I said avatar, written in English. Avatar who comes in and, destroys them. So that is the stories that we've been listening to since we were kids. And that is how it is. So these
So what
this
do
is
they do with the
glory.
body? Like, for example, if somebody is in the state of samadhi, how do they? Because what happens if the body is? I don't know if it's uh, relevant, but what happens if the body is harmed? Do you come to know, like, or like you said in the previous podcast, yeah? Because you said that if you are away from your body for 7 days, you lose the body.
Yeah. So in yogic, there are yogic breaths which helps them to go into samadhi.
Okay.
Yeah, from the dhyana state, from the meditative state, there are yogic breaths which are extremely cryptic. Nobody comes to know except it's given from a guru to a shishya, to a disciple. So it's not that it's available for everyone. So that yogic breath actually helps them to kind of move on from the body. But usually the body is protected. They kind of, that is why all this pyramids and saving the body and all came. But without doing other things, if you save the body, nothing will happen. Okay. So this is like they themselves find a place and a place where they can completely keep the body safe, and then they transition. So these are not very clear because this is only stories these are only stories.
Because even the Egyptians, they preserved their body. I never made the connection because, well, it is essentially what they're doing. Yeah, they are preserving the body for something. And here in India also, we've had a similar custom through Samadhi, I guess. So that's really interesting.
Yes, samadhi. But in India, see, look at that.
Yeah.
In this thing, it's only people who reach that level who are kind of who that is a decision that being takes by themselves. It's not done by others. It's not after death you bury the body and you make it into a samadhi. That doesn't make sense. It's while you're alive, you come out, because through your yogic breath, you come out of the body and you bury that, and that's the state of immortality. Okay, and that it's done only for good work. It's done only for things which are extremely whatever it is. So that is what samadhi is, the actual meaning of samadhi. Now, in a general modern you and me world where we are trying to manifest, it is the attainment of your goal. Okay, so every day, every hour, you can go into samadhi. Every time you follow these 7 steps, okay, the 8th step will be samadhi. There is no doubt about it. Okay, every day you can have a samadhi. So that is how you train yourself. You become responsible. Okay, you follow those 7 steps. Okay, and you attain your goal. Then there's a state of blissfulness because you've done it the right way. Why do you say if you've done it the right way, you enjoy the thing? So this, you follow the 7 steps. 8th step is blissful. You're in a state of samadhi. You've achieved your goal, a year's goal. It could be a lifetime goal. It could be anything. Okay, so samadhi can be also used for us in our daily life. Like that, every hour can be a samadhi. Each by 2 o'clock I need to finish this, by 1 o'clock I need to finish this. Okay, then you complete it. When you complete something, that is why the importance of completing task is important. Whether you get any reward for it, whether you are any monetary rewards for it, or you gain anything from it, when you complete something, there is something that happens in your body and your mind and your consciousness. That is success. The moment you've not completed something, it leaves a trace in your body, in your mind, and so that is the importance of completing task without attachment. So you see how everything is related.
Yeah.
So when we talk about samadhi in the level that I spoke to you about immortality, that is a long way, like far ahead, which people have to go through the whole process. But I'm just explaining what it is actually, because people have different names for it, moksha, liberation, this and that. But samadhi is actually a desire for immortality, because moksha is one step beyond samadhi. Okay, so that has to be clear. It can be you go back into divinity and you do not want to have anything to do with the earth anymore. So that's another level. Unless you desire, and then you have to wait and work for it, and you need to kind of request, then you can come back into the world. That's why even they can't willfully come back to earth. It's a grace. If you have taken moksha, for example, okay, you need permission from to come back into the world. If you need to work on that. So that is why people don't like to see. That's why instinctually we are looking for immortality. We don't want to die. Nobody wants to die. People are scared of death. People are scared of aging. People are scared of illness. Why? Because it's just inbuilt in us to aim for it.
Yeah, that makes so much sense now that you say it. It explains all our survival instincts, I guess. It explains
And
why
anxiety and sadness and sadness. You can achieve everything. You can have the best bungalow in the world. You can have the best car in the world. $1,000 million in your account, and people are going into depression because it still doesn't buy you that. You still need, if you're a celebrity, you'll still be seen by people. You still are accountable. You still need a passport. You still need a visa. You see, so it's that state of complete oneness with what the universe has to offer us. Yeah, so that's samadhi. So I'm glad we have. I don't want to speak more on that because it can get it can get a bit weird, maybe. But it's yeah. But this is what it is. But I would say that we should apply that on a daily life, every single day, completing a task, completing something, finishing it off, and it's like tying up loose ends, we call it. If it's karma, whether it is relationships, whether it is anything that we do, never leave any loose ends. It's important because that gives you a sense of it takes you one step forward towards what you are trying to attain in the spiritual world, or in the bigger picture, in the universal bigger picture that we're talking about.
Okay, perfect. So we've completed the 8 limbs of yoga. I think it's a treasure pot of information. So thank you so much for being patient and listening to all my questions and answering them so beautifully that I've understood it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sneha,
So
for
now,
being open-minded. Yeah, it's important being open-minded and receiving what information was given to you, so which is important. Yeah, so thank you for that.
So now I think we'll go to our mind bender challenge. Let's see.
Oh yeah,
How much
I have it.
We have. I have retained. Well.
Yeah. We have it here. Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 1. Okay. What is the ultimate goal of samadhi in the context of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras? Physical fitness, mental clarity, experiencing bliss and enlightenment, achieving social harmony.
Experiencing bliss and enlightenment.
Yeah, that's it. That's the easiest way of explaining samadhi. So, not the complicated versions that we talk about. Question number 2.
Okay.
Which limb of yoga involves sustained meditation and absorption into the object of meditation? Yama, niyama, dhyana, and samadhi.
It's dhyana.
Fantastic. Okay, let's go into the final question of the series.
Yeah.
Are we ready for it?
Yeah.
How can one achieve Samadhi according to yoga philosophy? Okay.
Okay.
A. Through intense physical exercise. B. By practicing deep breathing techniques. C. With consistent practice of all of limbs of yoga. D. Through regular social interactions.
It's C. Through regular practice of all the limbs of yoga.
Fantastic. So you've become a Samadhian now.
So I've also achieved
Congratulations.
mini Samadhi.
So yeah. So congratulations, and good going, and hopefully we do more of these podcasts, which are like, we can take up another topic and then we do the whole series on that. And looking forward to it.
Same here. So thank you. So guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Yoga, Body and Mind podcast. If you like what you've just heard, please visit us on our website www.getyogue.com and follow us on all our social media platforms for more content just like this. Please like, subscribe, share and comment any questions that you might have for us. Also, don't forget to turn on the bell icon so you never miss any of our future episodes. Thank you once again and see you next Wednesday.